Alright, everybody. So today's topic is tracking. Should you be tracking? Should you not be tracking? Etc. I think that the biggest problem a lot of people face with the concept of tracking is that they think that, they shouldn't do it because they're used to this very meticulous idea of tracking. You have to track every single little thing down. You have to record every single little macro. You have to record every single little calorie. You have to weigh and measure your food and all that sorts of stuff. But you don't have to, and you do have to track in some way. So there's three main things that you should be tracking when you're tracking. A, you should be tracking your diet. B, you should be tracking your exercise. And C, if you are trying to change your body composition or change your weight, you should be tracking those things as well. And you should be tracking them on a pretty regular basis every day. So I'm going to go into some of the positives and negatives of each of those. So starting off, diet. You need to track diet. People have generally no fucking clue how much food they're eating or what they're eating or anything like that. They have no clue. There's a beautiful, brilliant study that I love to cite, that basically analyzed what people said, like how much they thought they ate and how much they thought they exercised on average, and compared that, and then it tested them to determine exactly how much they were actually eating, and exactly how much they were actually working out. And what they discovered was that people are wildly inefficient at mentally remembering this stuff. There was a 50% margin of error, so they ranged between 50% and 150% of the actual number when it came to both calories and exercise. So people have no clue on their own unless they're actually paying attention, and the only way you're actually paying attention is if you're writing it down. People are not writing it down. They are not tracking this stuff. Now, you can get really extreme about tracking your diet, and again, that can be a detriment for a lot of people. You don't need to record every single little calorie. You don't need to weigh and measure your food. You don't need to be, super neurotic about it. And that's the problem. That's the thing that people think has to happen, is that they have to do that all the time, and that gets really draining and boring for them, and they hate it. The reality is that all you have to do, at the very least, is just write down everything that you eat as you eat it. And you have to be honest, you have to do it as you eat it. Because the problem is, if you don't do it as you eat it, then you're going to have like a handful of pretzels or whatever at the office, and you're not going to remember to write that down. And then later on, that handful of pretzels is going to be the missing link. That's going to be the reason that you're not seeing the results you're looking for or whatever. Because you're going to be looking at, what you've written down, and you'll say, this doesn't make any sense. I seem to have eaten the right amount of food, but, something's missing. And it was that handful of pretzels. It was, it was that donut that you ate and forgot about. It was, whatever you had to drink here and there. It was, your coffee. Whatever it is, you've got to remember to write down everything. And I do highly recommend that you read labels on food, too. Nobody reads nutrition labels. That's a huge deal. And, I won't say that you have to memorize your nutrition labels. I'm not going to say that you have to record every single little calorie that you eat. But you need to write down what you're eating, and you need to look at those nutrition labels, have a general sense of how many servings, like what a serving size looks like, how many of those you ate in one sitting, and, if you combine a bunch of foods together, all the pieces that went into it, and just a general idea of how many calories you're eating or how much protein you're eating. That's super important. If you're not paying attention, you have no clue. You have no clue. Nobody has any clue. There's so many people that come to me as a trainer and say, oh, well, I think I'm eating X amount of food, and I don't understand why I'm not losing weight. Well, the answer is you're not eating X amount of food because, you're not actually tracking. It's always, okay, are you writing that down somewhere? Oh, no, well, how do you know? How do you know if you're not writing it down? How do you, literally, how can you tell? You're just saying sort of, oh, well, I think I ate about that much. Well, there's no you think about it. You've got to write it down. You've got to have something or it's not going to work. The second one is your exercise. How can you have any clue if you're progressing? The main principle of exercise is progressive overload. You have to progress. You have to be doing more each time you work out, or even if it's not each time you work out, at least every couple times that you're working out, you have to be doing more than you were previously. That might mean more sets. It might mean more reps. It might mean more weight. You always want to be really conservative and take small jumps because, you're planning for the future. You're not trying to, show off and make these huge jumps and then, not be able to handle them because you're not recovered properly. But, you have to record so you can know what to do next time. I did this. I did this for 2-3 years when I was first working out. I had no clue what I was doing. I just sort of had in my head, oh well, this is about the amount of weight I did on this exercise last time, so I'll try and do more weight this time. And I was constantly messing up because I never I didn't have it written down anywhere. It was all in my head, and of course I wasn't remembering everything, so I was messing it up left and right. And then it wasn't until you start following a program that someone else has written, or you start writing it down for yourself, that you realize that you had no clue. You didn't really have any clue what you were doing before. You didn't really have any clue if you were getting better. You didn't really have any clue how many reps you could do, or what weight you could do, or what the highest weight you'd ever done. What you had no clue. A lot of exercisers will carry a notebook, a small notebook in your gym bag. That's easy. A small notebook with a pen. And then you just write stuff down as you do it, or at the end of your workout, when you're sitting down in the locker room. At the same time, now that we've got cell phones, it's so easy to just write stuff down on your cell phone. Take a note app and just, take a note that says, okay, this is what I did today. Here's the weight, here's the sets, here's the reps. That's it. It's really not hard, and writing that down is going to save you so much headache in the long run, because you can know what you did last time, and you can know how to improve this time. Easy and simple. Number 3 is tracking your weight, or tracking your body composition. Now this one is a little bit more, again, this can be done the wrong way, because some people, they look at the scale and they freak out because they think, oh man, I'm not seeing the results I was looking for. I was, like the other day I was 5 pounds, I'd lost 5 pounds from my initial weight, but today it says I've only lost 4 pounds from my initial weight. Am I getting worse? You have to understand that when it comes to weight, there's totally normal fluctuations in your body weight. Your water weight changes from day to day. Your water weight goes down when you've just sweated a bunch of it out, in a tough workout. So if you weigh yourself after the workout versus weighing yourself before the workout, you're gonna be lighter. So the main thing about tracking your weight, about stepping on the scale, is maybe you don't want to do it every day. That's fine, but you should be doing it regularly on some regular basis, and you should be writing it down. Again, writing it down somewhere so you can see that. And what you should notice is that if you plot each of those points on a graph, if you're trying to lose weight, you're not looking for every single one of those points to be in a perfect straight line downwards. You're looking for a general trend that goes downwards over time. And that's the important thing, because if, that water weight is moving around, or, whatever, or maybe you had a bad day and, you gained a half a pound, or whatever it is, these small fluctuations shouldn't bother you, but you should at the same time have some kind of way of tracking, so you can see what's happening, so you can see the direction that your weight is going, and you can make changes if you're not seeing the results that you're looking for. It's the same thing with your body composition. If you're trying to improve your body composition, track it regularly, write it down, note the general trend, graph it if you can, and that way you're gonna see where your numbers are going. You can't just take one discrete data point and freak out about it, because, again, that's just short term. Short term doesn't matter. You've got to think about the long term. But it's also great to track things. Tracking things is so important. Tracking things will help you so much. There's a really good quote: "What gets measured gets managed." You can't improve if you're not, writing stuff down, if you're not tracking things in some way. It's the exact same thing with your finances. If someone says, okay, do you have a budget? And you go, yeah, but you've never written anything down, you don't really have any clue how you're spending your money. That's not having a budget. You only have a budget when you've written it down and you're actually manipulating those numbers, those variables, the way you want to see your finances go in the right direction. It's the exact same thing with fitness. You can't not write things down and then say, I have a handle on exactly what I'm doing, because you don't. You're gonna forget it every time you go to the gym. You're gonna have forgotten what you did the last time you go to the gym. You're gonna forget what you ate for breakfast. I can't even remember what I ate for dinner yesterday or for breakfast yesterday. Are you does it make any sense that I would go into a trainer after a week of not recording everything that I ate, and then being like, I think I ate the right amount of food. Well, you didn't write it down, so you don't know. And I'll admit, I'm not perfect at tracking. Nobody is perfect at tracking. You know, you can be as neurotic or as simple about this as you want. I do highly recommend you go simple, because the simpler it is, the easier it is to stick to, and the easier it is to stick to, the more likely you're going to succeed in the long term. Some people are really huge numbers people, and they really like to, you know, get every single little metric that they can. Great, awesome, enjoy that. But for most people, it's going to be simpler and easier just to do simple things. Write down what you ate, and then just do some basic math. You know, just kind of do some basic math to try and determine how many calories, you know, roughly are in your meals. You know, write down your sets and reps so you have an idea of your total volume of what you did each day. Track your weight so you know how your weight is changing. It's, you know, you can't see progress if you're not looking for it. That's all there is to it. So, I hope you guys liked the video. As always, rate, comment, share. Tell me what you want to see next time, and I will see you guys later. Have a good night.